Welcome everybody to La Center Stage. And this is kind of a new thing that we're doing. We're talking about various ministries that we have at the church. The one we're going to be focusing on today is our growth groups.
Yes, and we want to talk about why we do them and their value and their importance. And so we go back to the New Testament. After the church was formed, we see that there were thousands of new believers, and the apostles developed rapidly a new ministry that was to disciple these new believers. So can you read that passage?
So it is in Acts 2:42, and they devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and the fellowship, to the breaking of bread and prayer. Now, one of the interesting things about this is where they're meeting. They're meeting in homes. And that's something that we want to replicate at our church, is us doing ministry in our homes.
Yes, and basically if you look at the New Testament, as these people were coming to Christ, they had large gatherings in the public square, in the temple courtyards, and then they had home gatherings. And so we kind of follow that same pattern. We have our large worship service, then we break into home groups. And so that's very critical for our spiritual growth. And some of the things that they did in their homes is it says they were devoted to the apostles' teaching. So they discussed and talked about and explored what they were learning as they gathered in the temple squares.
Another thing that they devoted themselves to was fellowship. So sometimes we don't realize just how important fellowship is for our Christian walk. We were designed and created as social creatures, and one of that is being in community and fellowship with one another in community.
And that's really the word where we get koinonia. So it's a Greek word which means we share all things in common, and that's the word for fellowship. So they spent time in the apostles' teaching, in prayer, in fellowship, and the breaking of bread, which is kind of the things that we do when we have our meals together as small groups. We kind of share a meal together, and they're just something that builds in terms of relationship when you sit across the table and you enjoy that time together. So that's community.
So, Mike, I have a question. What is the benefit of us doing this?
Well, we grow spiritually as we are in that kind of growth group setting. And so what we encourage you to do to get the most out of your experience here at La Center Church is to pick up one of the study guides that we develop. And in there's an opportunity to take some notes on the sermon. There's kind of a sermon notes page. And so be involved, hear the message on Sunday, take a few notes, and then we want you to go in and personally study that passage. And so there's always around 13 or 14 questions. You read the passage, you think about it, you interact with it. Maybe you see a variety of other cross-references that you look up that helps to explain it. Then what is next?
One of the things next, after personal study, is the idea we come together as a group and we discuss what's going on. What does this passage mean? Maybe you need some clarification. Maybe you need to, understand how it's applicable for your life. And so the coming together in discussion helps you understand the passage in a broader sense.
And you get another person's opinion and perspective, and it really does give a greater depth. And so to back up and to say, what are we all about? We are here to grow in our faith in Christ, and we do that by committing to be faithful in attendance on Sunday. Now, some of us cannot meet together because of the virus. Be there on Sunday online.
Absolutely.
But to make that a commitment, be there every week. Don't miss it. And then secondly, pick up a copy of the study guide. You can come down to the church. We will have them available starting this weekend. Pick up a study guide, and that'll take us through November. And then after that, join a small group. There's going to be a variety of small groups and variety of venues for those small groups. I'm sure there'll be some that'll still be Zoom kind of small groups. So find a group to be a part of and be faithful at that and interact together and enjoy each other's company and relationships and grow in Christ. And that's what we're all about.
Absolutely. So thank you once again for watching La Center Stage and this ministry that we think is so valuable.
It's an essential ministry here at La Center Church. We'll see you soon.